Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's episode, we're going to be tackling another book nook called The Secret Rhythm. Can't really tell too much on this one. What it looks like, but it's pretty much about music. Be pretty fun. This is by Fsolis. It's the brand, but you might be able to see it with a different brand and everything. So, saw this one, thought it was kind of cool. Take a look. So we'll go through all the. Of course, we have somebody who's not bothering us yet because I'm not doing nothing yet. Go through all the boards. As you can see, you got some guitars right there. And some other furniture pieces. There's your records right there. Look kind of cool. I think these are like album covers and everything. Little chess piece. Some wine. Some more records. Got some notes and everything. Come back down to here. Just some more furniture. There's some more album covers, it looks like. It's kind of cool. And then these are just the sides of the book nook and stuff. Going through, and then this is kind of the back part of it. And then these are going to be for all the books that we're going to be doing and everything. So, as you know, most of the other ones, that's not going to be too fun. But the only good thing is the paper. It's actually sticker paper. So the books you can just peel off and just stick to those wooden pieces. So it should be pretty easy. And then just some other parts that you'll be peeling off to put on there and everything. So then we got our little light kit, and then this is another touch sensor, which I think most of them are going to that now. Your little sandpaper, and I think these are little tape tabs to keep the wires in place. And these you don't have to wire together; they're already hooked, so you just got to route them and everything. And then comes with a dust cover, which I think a lot of the newer ones are coming with that now too. And then just another plastic piece, and then this wax paper inside. I think I was kind of looking through the manual, and I think these are going to be like lamp shades. That's going to go over the lights that you're going to wrap around and everything to kind of get the light to show a little bit better. But as always, if you like what I do, please like, share, subscribe, leave comments, hit that notification bell, and I will definitely get back to you. So with that, we'll get started. Everyone, so got our first pieces out. It looks like we're going to be attaching the touch light first. And it says in the instructions to at least check your lights first before you put them on, just to make sure they work. So I just put a couple batteries in. There's no on and off switch, so as soon as you put the batteries in and touch the sensor, the lights will come on. So, but I took the batteries out because I didn't want to leave them in there, and then every single time I hit the touch sensor, it'd turn the lights on and off. So it's just better just to take them out and everything. So. But they're all attached, so you don't have to worry about splicing them together or anything like that. Like one of the ones I'd done previously or anything, so. Okay, so first part is get your G6, pretty much your floor. Turn it upside down, and you'll see this little square, silver square right here. That's where the sensor will be placed onto the flat part. Will be pushed down, will be placed onto it, and then they give you, of course, as always, these little sticker tape, little sticker tape pieces, and then you can use this to place over the sensor. Make sure it stays. And if you want to place more than one, you can definitely do that because it gives you a ton of sticker. And And then also, if you want to use any other type of tape, I'm sure that would be fine as well. Okay, and then it wants you to kind of route or tape down this part here as well. So just gonna put that down. And then the more you kind of move it around, it'll probably come up a little bit. So I think maybe that one I may put too. This one I may put 2. Make sure it don't go nowhere. Okay. Then let's see here. You got your G. Oh, okay. So now we're gonna flip this over to where it's like so, and then they want you to put this piece on, but not on top of the wires. Probably been better to put this on first. This piece here, the G4, it's only a support piece. I think you're going to be putting on like the walls and everything. So I think they want you to put this piece on right here, just so it keeps the floor level when you put the floor or the walls and stuff on. So, and it says not to glue it. Yeah, so when you put the floor on, then it'll be level. So it's not really sitting on the sensor and everything like that. So don't glue this one in. This one, I'm not for sure yet on to glue it. I may just leave it as it is. Nothing there. And of course, I'm going to be using my Alini's clear gel tacky glue. So hasn't done me wrong yet. So I'll use this for all the pieces and everything going. You just got to make sure to not put too much on and everything. So first thing would be putting this shelf on, and some things I may not glue just because they're going to be inserted in. I mean, they're not going to be moving too much, so I ain't going to worry about gluing them down. I'm not going to put nothing on the outside edges because you'll be seeing it if I do, which I may have put too much. Okay, and I don't want to have too much on. Just arrange it. Make sure you don't mess with the timepiece. So here, this picture is going to take up the whole space of this outline right here, and then you're going to be putting a frame over top of it. So best bet probably would be to go up and down, just kind of sand, I'd say, to the bottom edge, and then stick it down. Okay. And then just kind of place it right on top. Just make sure the picture isn't covered, you don't see the outline. And if you want to push it down, you can to get it to stay. Okay, so we're going to be using all of these, but they're not going to be in this specific order. You're going to have to kind of look at the picture and the instructions, and because each picture has a little outline of how they're supposed to go, so you can look at the instructions on which pictures go where and everything. And again, these are all stickers, so you don't have to worry about gluing them, which is nice. And just try to put it right on the line, because I can see some flowers down here, so we'll put that down. And they're going to be covering all these other pictures, so kind of on top of each other. Just lift it up a little bit, and then it's stuck in my finger. Okay. Now that can go on top of it. Okay. So the Eiffel Tower, then your big square one, and then so put that in. Okay. Okay. Just angling this so I can see the line. Okay. Okay. So that will go right there. That'll go. Nope. Okay, that'll go. Higher. There and like that. Okay. Phew. Okay, not too bad. I'm just going to put it kind of toward the bottom. Toward the bottom, and not too crazy. Just push it down. Just see if I see the outline or anything, which I don't. And then finally, last picture is the Eiffel Tower. This one down here, number 12. And then just try to put it as best you can. Cover the line as best you can. I know it may have been better to put this one on first, and then that way, because that way this can go over top of it. So I can see a little bit of the line, but not too bad. So yeah, so I'd probably recommend putting the Eiffel Tower in first, and then putting the frame, just so it doesn't get in the way and everything. I missed our rug. We're supposed to do that at the very beginning. Completely missed. Okay, so the rug is going to just try to see how much of the white is going to be covered or not, which may just leave a little bit outline of the white. Just start on one end, work your way down. Yeah, so you're probably going to cover one side of the white, which I'm okay with. Okay, no, yes, I missed, right? No, okay. Okay, so now, hopefully everything's glued. Now we're going to be inserting this into the side. And that's why we put the tab here as a support to hold everything up and everything. So it doesn't tilt down and whatever else. So actually, I already did this part. It wanted you to cut out this paper piece, paper 1-3, and it is a sticker still, but they wanted you to cut it out because you're going to be gluing it onto the back side of this. But as you can tell, the flowers aren't really lining up with the holes on the outside. So I think maybe I just got a bad piece on the paper where it didn't cut it correctly. So now, and then most of these I probably won't even glue I may just pop them in. I used to glue almost like everything that got put together and all that, but here lately I've been kind of just, just putting pieces on, and because they're not really going to go anywhere or anything. So, and you also want to make sure this tab is down before you put stuff on. And then you want to make sure the decorative part is on the front piece, that's flat on the back. And just push it down. Until it goes all the way down. So that's why, another reason why I don't glue, because I mean they're in there really good that I don't think they're going to go anywhere. And then same thing for the bottom piece. Just line up the holes and push them all in. And if you have to kind of work it in there, just try not to force it too much, because you definitely don't want to splinter any wood or anything like that. So, okay. So now, got our little leg pieces here. So you got two. You got one that's just got regular leg ends, and then you got one where it's got tabs on the legs. So the tabs are going to go into the front, and that's where you just got to just see how everything's fitting. If something's like really loose, then it'd probably be worth gluing it just to ensure that it doesn't pop out. Yeah, those are like super loose. Okay. And trust me, it'll set. Okay. And then just try to line it up in the middle. Just kind of push it down. And then just kind of eyeball it. See how it's fitting. Okay. Gonna be putting these in. There we go. Okay. So we got that in, and then we're gonna grab our D10. Say it doesn't matter which way, right? Okay. D10. It's going to go on either side of these tabs, and push them in a little bit more just so they can fit. There we go. They were not fitting. Okay. So, and then this, there's a specific spot it wants you to so there's one edge where it's got little tabs on either side of it, so that you want it to be on the same side as this right here. And I think you're going to have to glue that down. Okay, just going to kind of put them together. Make sure it's all good. And while that's drying, just going to show you this. So there's a little chessboard that you had to put together, and all the pieces you have to glue onto the board. So I went ahead and did that because there's like 10 pieces. So I didn't want to, have you watching me glue 10 pieces on here. But what I did was I just started, and they all have to be facing the same, because if you look on the back, it's all cardboard on the back. So there's only color on one side. So they all have to be facing the same direction. But I try to match it for what it showed in the instruction book. But if you want to put them in any other, place, I mean, by all means, go ahead and set it up however you want to do it. But I started in the back, and then I just put like a little bit of glue on the spot. And then, just got some small tweezers, and then just grabbed a hold of it and just pressed it down onto it. And then just started on the next piece that was, closest to it. and then just started in the back and then just worked my way up to the front just so I wouldn't accidentally mess with any of them while they were drying. But I went ahead and just did that one just to show, because that was, you know, just stuff gluing together. And then same for the records. And these are actually pretty cool. The wooden pieces actually look like records and everything. So I just put a little piece of glue on top of the bottom and then stacked the one on top of it, not perfectly centered, just had it sticking out a little bit, and then put glue on top of that one, and then just put this one on top of it to kind of match the bottom. And then I just grabbed this one, it says John Lennon on it, and then just glued it to the side how it wanted you to do it and everything. So I went ahead and just put those together as well, because they were just, you know, just pieces to glue together and everything. So somebody woke up, as she always does. As she always does. Okay, so I just put a little bit of glue on those tabs down there, and then I'm just placing this on it just so it doesn't go anywhere. And a xylophone, I think it is. And then just hang on just a second, let me finish. And you just putting this part on the front, which I'm kind of afraid to since the top piece isn't really glued in yet, but oh, there we go. So I didn't glue it, I just popped it in. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. So there's your little like record player. Actually going to do a little guitar holder. So guitar. You have your one piece here that's got the tab on the bottom. And then you're going to push this in over here. And they want all the black ends to, I mean, it's going to be facing the same direction no matter what. So too loose or whatever, then, you know, it might be better to glue it on just so it doesn't move or anything. And then once you do that, then this just sits, guitar just kind of sits right on there like that. Put a couple right here, a couple right there. And then I'm just going to kind of push it down to have the glue kind of adhere to it. And then just make sure it's good and straight. Here. Don't have to be too much. And then we're going to be putting this on here. And it's up to you on whether you want to, you know, let it dry before you put on the next piece to make sure that they're all level, or just put them all on and then hope that it stays level. Put it on. Edge. We're just putting on a little edge. Just putting this on right here. Okay. Little speaker. So now I'm going to just kind of flatten it down, make sure it's all somewhat straight. Because you can't put it on its top or bottom because it's got a handle and everything, so, and that tab on the bottom. So as long as you do a side and it looks good, then hands off. To putting these pieces on, I'm gonna just leave the wall off for now. Just kind of get all this out of the way. And it'd probably be better to keep the wires, you know, tied up just so they don't bother you too much or whatever. So, okay, so now for this piece, there we go. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and just put them all here because it won't take too much to put them all on there. Make sure all your pieces are facing forward. sure they're lined up. Show your record player. Matches. And if you want to not show any of the template, that's fine, you know, to cover it up in the front so the template shows in the back, because you're not gonna see the template in the back, because again it's going to be facing the wall. So okay, now you have your guitar. That's going to go right here. Okay, just hard to kind of push down on it because you want to push down on the guitar. Blue. It just pretty much just slid right down into it. Okay. All right. So that's after you kind of your first step after you get your wall on and everything. So that's kind of what it looks like. Our next piece is out. Looks like we're going to be building a very big cabinet. Interesting. A very big cabinet. So we'll start with this. So you just put the tabs in the holes. And I don't know how loose or tight these are going to be, which not too bad. Okay, so just making sure, yep. So just want to make sure the openings are kind of facing you on both sides. And it's the flat parts on the back. Okay, feet forwards and get our shelf. And you want to make sure that the majority of the shelf is facing forward. You know, the flat pieces in the back. As you're putting this on, and it looks like it's this, have the stain side facing out, looks like, because you're gonna be putting this on the inside of the book nook where you're not gonna be able to see the inside of it. You definitely want to make sure that that is going into the right hole, because I do not want to take this out, potentially mess something up. Again, they're going in pretty tight, so I'm not using any glue at all. Okay, and then D16, which has got the two little holes in the middle here. So you just gotta match the holes. Definitely, it's hard to push in when you don't have something else to push against it. So I'm not trying to. Okay. So got that together, and now we're getting our big trim piece. Okay, so the two will fit right in. The outside ones are just kind of there. We have to kind of lower it to get them to kind of stick in. Or if you want to glue these down on the ends, you don't really have to glue that, but if you want to glue these in, but we're eventually going to be pressing these down into something, so I'm going to wait right now. I'm going to have these, you know, go into the grooves right here, and then you're going to want the tab is going to go down into the little hole right here for each one of these, and the long piece is going to be sitting right on top of it like that, and that's how it's going to be for each of these pieces that are going to be the problem. May have to put in a little bit more. Okay, so that's where I put the glue down. The fun part is getting everything to stick without making a mess. So I'm just gonna fit everything back on and there we go. Okay, that's on and that's on. Just pushing everything down. May have to hold them inside and maybe push them down a little to so I'm kind of letting this dry a little bit more, and then I kind of glued up here at the corners, and I got the clamp on to kind of hold it in. So while it's doing that, so now we got our little frames that we're going to be putting on down here. They should just slide right on just like that. So and with these, you just got to make sure the handles are on the top. That's that's showing right here, so they kind of match the ones that are right there. So okay, just purring awful loud. Okay, just make sure the handles are on the top part. Fit right in. Okay. Just kind of press that in and just make sure it's level with the top. The only thing I don't like is, so you're just gluing this outside piece on, but it's got a tab on top that you're going to be putting this on top of it, and when you try to push down, if this piece isn't secured onto the side here, then there's a potential that you could push it off. So depending on your wood pieces, how it's being held and everything, you know, like I said, you may need some clamps and some other things to ensure. See, I just pushed it off. I just pushed it off. See. What did I push? Oh, I just, okay. Okay. Glue did not matter a bit. So I'm going to throw some more glue on here. So that's what I was just talking about. Freaking glue did not matter a bit. So it might be better to put this top piece on first, glue it on, and then put this on last as you're trying to insert it into the top part up in there. And then you may have to, since it's secured on the top, now you're going to need your now you're going to need your clamps to make sure this doesn't move on the bottom. So that's probably what I would recommend, is to do it that way. So I'll just throw some glue. And I'm not too worried about the glue showing through these. you're not going to see. It's going to dry clear and everything. So just laying it all down. And then just push it all the way up and just make sure it's centered in between the beam and everything else, and then just press it down. And then this one is just going to stick out. This one's going to stick out a little bit, so but it'll be flush with this piece up here. Just push it all the way up. And it's just going to hang over a little bit, so it'll be fine. Just make sure it's all the way up at the top. So with your 3 tabs, here, here, and here, these are going to go into these holes here, here, and over here. And I'm hoping that these pieces that I just put on will not fall off when I put these on. And they kind of feel like they're just gonna slide right into the holes. Just like that. so that fit perfectly and everything. So that's why, oh, my records just fell. Got to re-glue the records. That's why you want all the stained facing this way, because that's why you're going to be looking into it and everything. So I gotta glue my records back on so they don't fall off and everything. So, I'm not gonna glue that on. It'll just kind of move around a little bit, but I don't think it's gonna go anywhere or anything. So, I may glue it on. I don't know. It's up to you whether you want to glue it on or not. I mean, it's kind of moving back and forth, but we're going to be gluing everything onto the shelf, so it's not like it's going to go anywhere. But just so it doesn't move anywhere or anything, then I may glue it on. So it looks like we're going to be working on a little stereo, and I'm kind of worried about this piece here because there's not a lot of space in between this hole and everything. So I may actually sand down the piece that goes into there, because I have a feeling it's going to be a little tight, just like this one is. It's a little kind of tight getting in there, and I just have a feeling if I try to push this in here, that pushing this in here, there's a possibility of it breaking off there. So either sand it down or just very slowly, and make sure you have your finger on top here to kind of support that little notch and everything. But just very slowly push it down. Don't try to force it too much. And just make sure that front piece doesn't get broken off, because that's very likely to happen. Just putting this in. Okay, we put some sides on, and it looks like you have kind of a straight edge, and then you have a curved side, and it looks like the curved side goes on the front right here, and then all the stained side faces to the left, it looks like. And just make sure you use enough glue, because I had that couple things fall off on my other. Oh, wait a second. Oh, okay. I had those couple things fall off my records and stuff off that table. I think I just may not have used enough glue. Okay, just making sure it's flush there. We're gonna be working some portraits and putting like the little stands on the back of it. So all I did, I went ahead and did it just so the glue could dry. But all I did was on the stand, I just put some glue on the front of it and then just pressed it. Tried to find the middle of the picture and just pressed it on it. And then I just put it down here so it could, you know, make sure it's flush on the bottom and then it's level with the back. And then just kind of just held it there for a little bit. And then since it's a small piece, it actually, you know, stuck pretty good. And then we have this humongo one that's going to go in there somewhere. And it's going to be the, you know, the same thing. It's just that the stand's a little bigger. But I just did the same thing. Just put some glue on it, put it down, make sure it was in the middle, somewhat in the middle. And then just put it down like that. So, so we just did that. Gotta figure out how these are. Oh, well, shoot, those just right on. Okay. So with this taller wine glass, you just got to be careful if it doesn't go right in. Okay, so it does. I was just worried about it since it's got a very thin stem. You know, if you push too hard, then it potentially could break it, but these seem to be going in super easy. So I'm just going to just throw some glue right on top of it and just kind of hit the around the edge as well, just so they'll go in. So just push that down and push this down. Just make sure they're flush and then just let that dry. So you had 30 to 40 of these wooden pieces that you had to break off, and I went ahead and sanded the sides because I always just, it bothers me if I feel a rough edge on anything. So so I went ahead and just popped out, and I looked at the stickers. There was, I think, 35 book covers on the sticker sheet, which, you know, I've already done some of it, but I'll show you a couple. I think there was like 35 sticker sheets, so I just popped out 35 of these, and I'll just show you kind of how I put them on. Wasn't really too difficult, and it's definitely easier with stickers than if you have to glue them on and everything. So, but what I did was I just lined it up, the one edge of the sticker with the edge of the book, and just make sure it was level, and then just pressed it down, and then just rolled it, hit the spine, and then just rolled it around, and there you go. There's your book. We'll just kind of alter our view a little bit just so you can see what I'm doing, because I don't want to, I could lay it down flat, but there's some pieces that are going to fall off if I do that, and plus, since it's got the little trim on the front, I may have to come in from the back and everything to get stuff to fit. So you don't want it to fall off. And again, you don't want anything going past this point, because there's going to be a wall put up right against it. So you want to make sure anything you put on there does not go past that point of the shelf. Award themed or music themed. Have that there. Wooden like little cassettes. They're kind of cool. I like these. I think they did a really good job with the records and the cassettes and the old school stuff, music. Because, I mean, that's what I grew up with, so it's just funny to see them in miniature form and everything. So, and then these I just kind of glued together, just to kind of, I mean, I think they were supposed to be kind of like right next to each other, but I went ahead and just glued them together, just so, you know, you wouldn't have to worry about trying to glue two different types of pieces. So I went ahead and just glued these, together. All I did was just grab the first book, just put some glue on top of it, put a book on top of it, and glue on top, and then book and glue and book. So, and then I just laid them flat on the mat just so that they would line up level. you know, just to go off of and everything. So I just threw some glue on the bottom, and then I'm going to put this right here. And again, don't want to go past the back of the shelf. So I just want to make sure that looks like they're lined up pretty good there. Some tweezers, I'm just going to line the book against it and just make sure it's flush. Okay. I'm just gonna do the same for that one. Just make sure it's not past. And then some of the covers won't look right because it'll make it look like the front cover is on the back part of the book, and it's just the way the stickers are. So it don't matter which way you have it facing and everything. So just put that down there. And again, you want to, if you can, to try to press it down to kind of make it set in everything. So, and again, it's not going past the shelf. Just kind of have it set in the, just did some more cassettes. I just glued them together. Just put a couple on top and then put a bigger one in the back. And then these you just kind of put in at an angle or however you want. Just set them down. It just kind of goes right here. As big as it is, you definitely got to make sure that's not sticking out too far in the back. So record player or stereo right here, you're supposed to have a cassette that sits right on top of it. So I'm just going to jut it out a little bit just so you can see it. I'm going to have it all the way in the middle where you can't see it, but yeah, I kind of forgot about that. Here on these holes, just to make it a little easier, and that way by the time I get it in there it'll be somewhat dry. And then I'll wait for the glasses. Tall one is supposed to be in the back. Then this one is supposed to be in the front. It's kind of hard to follow the instructions. You just got to make sure they're standing up straight, not leaning over and everything, which it's hard. But you can always kind of put those right together. And then that one in there. And then the last bottle goes right here. Oops. Okay, and then you got your glasses. Yep. And you just put those right on the circle. Cover up the circle. And just kind of press down on it. You know, just a little awkward, different, you know, not perfectly aligned and everything, which I think is fine to do. Just as long as they're not sticking out. I was going to throw it in the front, but since I can't really. There we go. I can't really put it where I want it to here, then I'll just throw it there at the bottom. But I'll probably, how's it? Yeah, okay. This one I'll put up top. No big deal. Put it right like this, if I can. So I'll show you how I glue the books together and everything. So all I do is just throw just a couple things of glue on, and then just throw the other book on top of it. Get the kitty hair out of the way. Just throw the book on top of it, and then we'll like place it on a level surface, and then just, you know, get it to stand up, and just to make sure that it's level and everything. And then once that's good, then I'll go ahead and put a couple more dabs of glue on, grab another book, and then just keep doing that for however many you want to go across. Put them on there. So I want these to go right here. Okay, so for this one, I'm just going to lean in. I've done kind of the other ones. May come back and put some in some of these empty spots and everything, just so, you know, it looks a little bit more busier than. Okay. So I'm just gonna angle it a little bit. Let that settle. And again, just making sure nothing is sticking out the back. And filled with all the books and knickknacks and whatever else. And so it's up to you whether you want to put your cabinet on the floor and then put everything in. I mean, I guess if you do that, then you don't have to worry about anything shaking off when you insert it into the floor, but it didn't go in too hard. I mean, it was kind of easy to get it into the holes and everything, but so it's up to you, you know, whether you want to put the cabinet into the floor or not, and then put everything in too. It's like I said, you can come in from the back and put stuff in and everything, but that's kind of what it should look like. But again, you can, excuse me, you can make it however you want to make it. Now it looks like we're going to be working on one of the upper levels, the parts of it, and looks like we're going to be putting on some guidelines to help the wires of the lights flow and everything. So so this should be interesting. So this first piece here, I went ahead and glued on. It's just 2 pieces, and all you do is just line up the edge right here. Just make sure they're flush here and here, and just make sure it's like a little step as you're putting it on. So as long as it's flush on these 2 parts and flush on the ends, then you should be good. Definitely going to be interesting, because you're supposed to be covering part of these holes right here, not completely, but I think it would be better to start with some of the easier pieces, because they'll be kind of eventually touching. Okay, so just line it up right on the opening, just push it down, and then just kind of leave it. And I'm just wiping off some of the excess. Okay, so just kind of make sure it's level with that, and then just do your best to make it level with this first piece here. So it's probably just wanting you to ensure that, and just make sure this end lines up exactly right with the other one. And then because it looks like it's still a lot of so as long as you got the holes semi covered, or something won't be able to go completely all the way through, then you should be fine. At this point, I'm not for sure what's going to happen, but as long as it's flush with here, and I'm just going to make this as straight as I can. It's kind of hard to see, but again, this is going to be underneath. I don't think you're really going to see it too much. 5, 28, 38, 2 26s, and a 16. So it's better to kind of dig them all out and try to get them unwound from each other, and just make sure that they're only connected at the very beginning between the red and the black, and that they're not crisscrossing or anything like that. and then it tells you to group certain sizes together, and then use the tape that it provides you to kind of wrap them up together. So in this one, there's the 2 26s and the 16 that I put tape on like right after the beginning of the black, and then the other one was just the 28 and the 38. I just kind of wrapped together right there, and I think it's just to make it easy to, you know, depending on where they're going on the model and everything like that. So for this first part, we're going to use one of the 26s, and actually we're going to use both 26s. So grab for 126, we're going to be bending it. Let's see here. Yeah. So 126, we're going to be bending it kind of right here. Get off. Because we're going to be putting this piece on straight down. If it'll go. There we go. Okay. And this will be going kind of right here. That's where this one's going to be going. But a little better. Just kind of bend it right at the light. Okay. So, because it's just going to go down into the hole here, there's really nothing that's going to be holding it and everything. So, and then both wires, looks like it's just the two, are going to be going in through this right here. So it's better to, I may take this tape off. I know it may actually get in the way. So without trying to mess with all this other stuff, the light is going to go right in here. And just push it down as far as it'll go. And then you're going to put this underneath. And then this is going to wrap around. So let me bend it a little just so it won't sit out too much. Yeah, bend it a little like that, and then that'll come out to here. And then the other 26, what they want you to do is go up under this, and then have the light, glue the light down. Try not to hit the trim pieces, but pretty much glue the light down into this. Okay. Come on. And just get that in there. And then just push on the light till it goes all the way down. All the way around as best you can. And then pop it back underneath here. Try not to touch nothing. And then you'll have both wires. You can kind of see if you need to put them side by side. And it kind of wants you to wrap them and glue them into the spot here. So, and then it tells you to, once you wrap them, then I'm going to guess use the tape to glue it to the board right here. Put this piece in to hold these in. I'm not putting them on top of each other. Just push it all the way down. All right, everyone. So the next thing we're going to be working on is the banister for this top floor. So the wires are glued down. I flipped it over because we're going to be putting the banister along this right here. And then all that trim pieces we put underneath is blocking all of the holes, because all of these posts and everything, I think, they're just gonna slide right in. They're not gonna be too difficult to push in or anything like that. So, but they want you to install all the pieces to this first, everything going through. But the only problem is these going through, it actually, nothing holds it from staying up top, and it actually will slide down if you try to push it in. So you're going to have to glue these pieces on. But your little trim pieces that are going to be in the middle, these don't go all the way through. You don't have to worry about them hitting the floor or whatever. These are just going to, you know, just for decoration and everything. So I was kind of looking at it, and I think it'd be better to put those on first and glue them in. That way you don't have to worry about them falling out and everything. And that way when you go to glue on the pieces to the post, then that's just one less thing you have to worry about. Put these posts in first. So I'm going to start on the corner right here, and you see there's 3 holes. You get the big square, and then 3 small holes in the middle. So you're going to go to the very first one. I'm going to use the one that looks like the actual S, and then have it facing forward, and just put it into the hole, and then just make sure it's straight. But I think these are going to, you know, stand straight for the most part. I don't think they're going to move around too much. And then the next piece isn't going to be until over here, and you're going to be putting 5 of those S's along here, and you're going to use the smaller holes. There's 5 small holes here. The bigger holes are for something else. So if you see 4 bigger holes, don't use those. Use the 5 smaller holes. So one of your regular looking S's, put that in there. Turn it. It's not glue, it's a bubble. There we go. And then you're going to get the one piece that looks like a reverse S, and you're going to place that in. And then get another regular size S, and this one should be facing straight forward on the banister and everything. I got my allergies going. I just came from outside. And then you're gonna put one there and one there. So you're gonna get the reverse S. There we go. Reverse S, and then regular size S into there. Okay, so now what you want to do is just kind of look at them to see if they're level. You know, they're not folding over too much. And they may only, you know, go one specific direction. It may not be too much for you to do. You know, but just make sure it's perfectly straight as you can make it. Okay, everyone, so we got our little banister pieces glued in, and next we're going to be putting in the rails to go down and everything. So it's only 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces that we're going to be putting in. However, you're going to have to glue this to the post because they slide down, and you're going to have to glue them to get it to stay up at this point, because if you try to insert it into the floor, then this top part is going to slide down into the floor. And the best way I've found to get them to dry with keeping this from falling down is I set up the battery compartment and I set up some books so I can set this on a flat surface so it'll dry with this being pushed up so it won't fall down. And so I wanted to use at least something from the model just so I wouldn't have to try to find something, because it's, you know, kind of difficult to find a thin piece and a long piece to be able to hold this up. So this is what I decided. Throw some glue all around the post, kind of right in the middle, not at the very top, but just kind of around the post. And when you push it down, it should push it up to where it'll hold the piece. And if you need to wipe off any excess, then, you know, just wipe off the excess, but everything inside should hold, you know. And I mean, definitely don't want to take off all the glue, but, and then just line it up with your other piece on the banister, and then you can just set it down while you work on the other ones. But it's kind of the best way I've figured on how to do it. And you should have an opening right there, and then just kind of have them all go down at the same time. Just like that. As best you can. That one's still level, yep, okay. So, and then just sliding up. So the book should fit in between two of the posts off of this long one, because that's where you want it to be. One, it's actually going to be attaching to this post here, so you want to throw a little bit of glue onto here just so it gets attached. May just have to make sure the glue doesn't come off or anything, but just line them all together, make sure it's straight, and again, not too worried about the excess. It's secure and everything. So with this one, I may just push it down, not really pull up the piece, but you just want to make sure it's pushed down all the way together. And again, you just want to make sure it's kind of lined up with your other piece of the banister. Okay, I'm just checking stuff here. Yeah, that looks good. That looks good. Okay, so that's kind of what it looks like. Actually, I want to pop this down just so you can see from the side. So that's what it looks like, and that's how I got the books and the battery kind of set and everything. You know, got the post in there. So we got our banister pieces glued together, and definitely doesn't look like it's going anywhere. So now, and somebody's awake, so she's bugging me. So now what we're going to be doing is putting everything into the holes in the floor. Yeah, I know. But I still want to put something in there just to hold it. I'm busy. Okay, so That went in all the way down. That went in. And then all I'm looking for is pushing down the post. As far as they go down, I'm not too worried about these. Going down too far, because they're just not. Did I go down? Yep. Okay. Oh, there we go. We have these other 6 pieces here that are going to be going through the holes, and then with these there's like an unstained side, and then there's a stained side, and a stained side. So the stained side you want to make sure is facing forward. Just get it down into the hole. And you should have the trim piece underneath to stop it from going all the way through. And then you do the same for this one right here. That goes down, yep. And then just try to make them as straight as you can. I mean, I can. And the other 4 pieces are going to go around the front part here. So, just so it's not too off kilter or anything like that. So, okay, that's how the little pegs, you know, right here, these 4 are looking right now. And then you get your 2 here on the side. So I'm just gonna so it looks like there's little gaps on these posts right here that I think this actually slides into. So I may have to I actually may have to sand it down a little bit to get it to slide in. And then I guess you could always sand the bottom part since it doesn't have any stain or anything. You can always just sand, you know, this bottom piece. I did a little bit on the top too, just to make it even. Just to, which, I mean, if you do the top, you're not going to see too much of it, but okay, so that actually fit in pretty good. Sand both sides, just so it'll slide in those little cubbies. Okay, and again, I'm just doing just a little bit on this top piece because that's all that's going in. Just testing it. Okay, that one's good. And yep, that one's good. Okay. And put some glue here. And then we're gonna slide that one in and slide that one in, and I'm just making sure it's in all the way. And then it's kind of bowed up a little. So, but yeah, there's a little bit of white showing, so it may be better just to sand it on the bottom, not mess with the top, but again, not worried about it. Here, and then throw some glue there, and then just come up from the back, just slide them in. Okay, so for that one, you got your top pillar here. Got the top pillar here. Like I said, a little bit of gap, but I'm not worried about it. But it just should be flush on the back side and then flush on both sides there. So I sanded those a little bit better where I don't see the white, but again, not worried about it. Okay, nothing too crazy. And just put that on and then just see the opening and just match the openings between the two pieces. Just make sure you don't really see an edge anywhere. And then do that for the top and the bottom. Then for this piece here, they want you to put these in. So I'm not going to glue them in. They're definitely not going to go anywhere. Okay. And then this piece is going to go right into here. I guess I could lift it down. So you get your little shelf there. So we're actually going to be making a lantern, a lamp with one of the light switches or lights, and then it's going to go up and into there. So we'll get to that in a minute. So next is another sticker page or a picture that you actually have to cut out because we're going to be gluing this onto the back side of this. So you actually want to cut out the square part and not the oval. I mean, you can if you want to, but I would just rather just cut out the square because you're not going to see this white part or anything like that. And then what we're going to be doing is just sticking it onto the back of this. You know, stick it on the back of this and then just looking to see, you know, where to arrange the picture and everything. And it looks like it's going to match the white circle that's showing. The little white outline, that's what's going to be shown inside. So you can always just throw some glue on the outside of the picture here. That way you know it's not really going to go anywhere, but just a little, because it's paper. I mean, it's not like it's wood that you got to worry about, you know, throwing it on to hold it and everything. So okay, so now I'm going to place this down. Okay, almost got it right. And then I'm just going to move it over. And then just where I don't see any of those lines. Yep. Move it over just a tad. Okay, so, yep, there we go. So, and then just press it on the back part, which is what I'm doing with my finger right now. It's just, so, since we have our two 26s going to the bottom of the floor, and that's why they wanted you to hook the 16 centimeter one along with it, because this is going to go onto the back of it and everything. So they want you to bend it like I did the other one, where you bend it like right where the wires are, but then they want you to bend it right after that, almost to make like an L shaped and everything, because what you're going to be doing is you're going to be getting your lamp piece and then turn it over, and then you're going to be inserting this into right here, and then just push it in as far as you can to where it's almost like level. Okay. Then what you're going to do is you're going to get your next piece, and then we're going to insert it down. If we can. It's because of that. Oh man. Yeah, that's going to be putting it right over top of it. So, okay. So let me push this back out. So you're going to have to bend this right where... I don't like this because I don't like bending this back and forth so many times. You got to bend this right where this piece is. Okay, just bend it up and then just hold it like I did, like that, and then just bend it straight down. I hope those wires are freaking okay still. And then, because once you get this in here, put it about halfway, because you want the wires to be almost flush with the piece here. Okay? And then when you get your other piece on,
No, I'm not from here. No.
Let me see here.
I'm not from here. You can walk over me.
Okay. So when you put this piece on, then this will go right over the wire itself and everything. Okay? So it should be flush. So that's where you got to bend it like that. Okay, and now the fun part. Okay, so you're going to get you get one of the wax paper pieces, the little strips marked by the number 3. And then I find it easier because then what you're going to be doing is you're going to be rolling this and then taping the one side to the line of where this is. And I found it's easier if you've got something to where you can roll it around. That way you don't have to worry about putting any lines into it and everything. Then you can just kind of roll it and then it'll put it right onto it. Will that fit better? No, okay. So, and again with this, you do not need a lot of glue because it is paper. And that was probably too much right there. And then you just get it and glue it right on the line. And usually it'll hold if it's paper for the most part. So just sit here and hold it for a few seconds until the glue sets. Okay. So I think it's good. So now we got a little circle. And then what we're going to be doing is... Oh, you got to be kidding me. Boy, did I screw that up. Not really screwed it up. I'm just glad I didn't glue nothing down. Okay. Push this back out again. Grab your light and push it up through here. Okay, and then you want to put your base on, and then you want to get your film. Push that on, and then put your light in. Put your cover on, then get your film, and just start with one side, and then work your way on the other side, and then once you get it on, just slide it right on. Okay, then make sure the front piece is fitted onto the base, like so. There we go. Okay. Then, what you want to do is you just put it into the hole that's on the shelf here. Oh, there we go. Just like that. And if you want to glue it down, you can glue it down, but that's how that goes. And then, these go onto this side like so. It's being difficult. There we go. Now I just gotta push it down a little bit. Okay, so it looks like I actually have to put the wall back on this side over here, because we're going to be throwing on our upper wall and everything. So it looks like this will go right here, and then those will slide into there, and this will slide in up at the top. So these go in like super easy, which is nice, that you really don't have to push them in or anything. I'm not too worried about it because I think it's gonna, you know, with the other wall going in, once you get the other wall in, it'll kind of push everything together. But that's how that is. And then we'll work on the back here in a second. I'm just kind of wanting to knock this next step out first. So they wanted you to build a ladder, and it wasn't too difficult. I just placed this bottom piece on, and then you just got all the steps, make sure they were facing the same direction, and then just placed them in the hole going down. I didn't glue it or anything. And then you just got the next side of the ladder, just put it on top and lined it with the tabs for each step. And then once they all lined together, then I pressed them together, and then just put this bottom part on the mat to make sure it was level. And that's all I did. I didn't glue it or anything like that, so I didn't really think I needed to show that. It was just putting the steps in and everything. So where this is going to go is into the hole right here, and there's a little tab at the bottom that it's going to go into. That looks like they want you to put it in like that. And if I get this stupid, I don't know, I may have to glue this together. And then find the hole that the ladder will go into, and I'll show you here in a second. And then I just press down on it. Again, I'm not gluing it, I just press down on it. Again, this is just kind of shifting off because it's wanting to pop out and everything, but that's how that should look on top. And you got the ladder, and the ladder should connect. You know, the hooks should hook onto the top of the floor and everything. So that's how that should look and everything. So okay, so you need 5 of your little tabs like these right here. And what we're going to be doing is pretty much all of these wires here. We're gonna somehow put them together, or at least get them all into the tab here, and then it's going to go into these little holes right here. All right, so I'm just taking the wall off because it's going to be easier to push things together and everything. So man, why they made this so difficult to push these stupid things in. And if nothing else, if you want to just get it started, so I don't want to push on the window. Sorry, I don't really want to push on the window because I know it'll come off if I do. I mean, I guess I could always there we go. Okay. Now, let's put this back together. So eventually, this is going to go down into here. Oh my God. Okay, so I had a lot of issues with this. So this is what I'll say is, because right now I don't have this wall. I don't have this wall or this, glued to the base or anything like that. And I will say, if you don't glue it and you're trying to put these connectors for the cables, you're gonna knock something off, because I already knocked a couple things off the shelves, and I'm gonna have to go back and re-glue a bunch of stuff. Hi everyone. So I don't know if you could tell in the last episode, I was definitely having some issues with all of this. So normally I don't glue walls, the outside walls or anything like that, because it just helps in putting everything else together when you attach, the four walls and the roof and the back part and everything together and all that. But in this case, I actually decided to glue this wall to the floor, and actually glued this section, this top part, upper floor, I actually glued that to the wall, because when I was trying to put all this wiring together, it just wasn't staying, kept falling apart. I actually knocked some stuff off the shelving. So I just decided to go ahead and just glue it, just so it would cooperate. Okay, so, but I at least wanted to go over kind of what I did and everything. So one thing about these holders is they don't go in all the way. Okay, they're not going to be tight enough to crimp down on. So one thing about these holders is they don't go in all the way. They won't go in so far as to crimp the wires or anything. They'll just go into a certain point and then they'll just stop. So I think that was my issue too, was I was trying to force it in further than what it was going to be going in. So that's, I think, one thing that I think that was kind of hurting me as well, is these won't go in a certain amount, because you can see kind of this one here, like how much room there is for the wire. That's as far as it goes in. So it's not, these aren't meant to crimp the wire. They're just meant to hold the wire so you can, pull some back or push some up if needed for, when you attach the other wires in and everything. So just remember that when you put these in, is, they won't go in all the way. But I think sanding the ends on both sides definitely helped pushing it in, because they just weren't cooperating going in at all and everything. And I know in the instructions it talks about, and this is just the other wire, I was just keeping it out of the way. It talked about putting some tape on this little section here, but I'm not going to do that, because already this is not wanting to stay up against the wall. So tape isn't going to hold it, so it's not going anywhere. So I'm not too worried about that. And then this down here, they want you to kind of sit this up long ways, and these wires right here can go into this little section here to kind of come around and connect. But I just haven't got that far yet. And whether if I actually want to do it or not, I don't know. It'll fit in here kind of at an angle or even flat and everything. But I just went ahead and just connected all the wires, as you see. And then it talks about, those last two that you have, just to have them go up top. And that's why I just kind of put them here in the back out of the way, just because, just so they don't get, they don't get crunched or whatever. So, but I at least just wanted to show you that with the wires on what I did and everything. And just remember, these holders don't go in all the way. Just get them in to where they will hold the wire, and then just sand the ends to get them to go in a little easier. And if you want to glue all this together before putting these wires on, or before putting these holders on, that's totally fine too, just so you won't have to worry about pieces falling off and everything, because I was having so much issues with this, because I haven't had one where it was, the tabs just were very loose and wasn't holding the wall in like some of the other models had done and everything. So, but looking at it, you know, I mean, I glued everything together so it doesn't look too bad, and just made sure it was all nice and tight and everything. So, but you know, that's how it looks right now. So, got our pieces out for the chair, or for our desk, everything. And somebody's awake, so she's bugging me. If you can hear, say she's awake. So she's going to be helping us. Go, go, go. Okay. So you got your C18 pieces, and they're going to be facing the same direction. And you have your C16. They're going to go right here. And I'm not gluing them. That looks like they're going to go in pretty well. And then you want to make sure this goes in here before you put on your second, your other side, just so it's in there nice and tight. Because this is going to be, and I just said that, wasn't it? Okay. Because this is going to be sliding. This is a drawer. It's going to be sliding back and forth. Or not? You're in the way. You're in the way. Okay. And then we need paper 1/9. No, you don't rub on that. Okay, so on the drawer you have a little sticker paper. Just pretty much put it right on the line. Definitely make it easy for us to put it on the drawer and everything. So put that on there. Okay. And it's gonna. Now the next part is you want to make sure you got the two images or templates on top. You want to make sure the bigger square is to the left. While I'm trying to pet somebody. And then it looks like the inside, yep. So just line them up and push them down. Okay. And then looks like we got our, oh, okay, put that aside. Yeah, I'm paying. Okay, we're going to use this. This is going to be popping up. There you go. And it's hard to do anything with you bugging me. You know that? You know that? Okay, and again, they're both facing the same direction. Putting this on. Okay. And now this is going to go, put the drawer in between the slot right here. And then make sure these go right here, and this one goes right here, and then these pop in at the top. And you have to kind of work one at a time to get it to set down. There we go. Yeah, definitely don't need any glue. These are going in pretty good. Oh, there we go. Okay. So your desk should kind of look like that. And then push that up a little bit. So that should slide out as your drawer. So this goes on top. And this should slide right in the grooves here. And then you got little holes here that these will pop down into. kitty hair. Okay. Oh, it's got the grooves on the back. Okay. Okay, so now pull the drawer out. You put this front piece on. Okay, like so. Get your little drawer. Put it in. And then this goes on the back. Make sure the stain side faces in. And it should go into the groove. And if you want to glue that part, you may want to, I mean, it's just kind of being held like right there. So, but I mean, if nothing hits it, then I don't see an issue with it. And then these, how do these go? These you're going to have to glue on right here. They'll go like that, and then the bigger hole, you know, just kind of like that. So, you know, so that's how that's going to look. Got our next step, and I kind of cheated a little. So, next step was to make this little speaker. So I went ahead and just put it together because this was, you put it together just like that other speaker that we did. You have 3 layers of pieces that you just glue one side and then put the other one right on top of it, and then just put the third one on. And then you have this little piece right here. I put glue on the back of it and just stuck it down on it. I mean, that was it. So I mean, you know, usually if it's like a multiple, if I have to make multiple pieces of the same thing, then I usually don't show each one, but I'll at least explain it to you how I do it, just so you see. But this was put together exactly the same as that other speaker that we had. And then we did another lamp. So this was put together exactly the same way as the other one. The only difference is this doesn't have a light to it. It's just a lamp. So you had your 2 pieces, one on top of the other. You have your wax paper. Again, you just roll it up, put glue on the edge, and then just put it right to the line, just like we did last time. And then just work your way, you know, start with one edge, you know, to put it in, and then just work your way around to make sure it gets into all the edges. That we didn't get into good, but make sure it's just getting into all the edges, then and just push it up. And then after that, you just put it into this base right here. So I just did that. And then it called for a bunch of books to be glued together. So I went ahead and just, you know, glued 2 sets of books side by side standing up. So I just put some glue on one side, put the other one in. And then it wanted, you know, 3 books glued together with some kitty hair, you know, to lay flat. So I did that. And then just like the pictures before, you got your little holder on the back of it. I just put some glue on the back, put this down, laid it down on the ground to make sure it was even. And then we got a coffee cup. We got another little picture. Got our lamp. Oops. Got our lamp. Get it to stay up. There we go. Okay. So the one thing I didn't do, because I want to show you, because I know this isn't in all the book nooks and everything. So they wanted you to cut out this paper 2-1, and we're going to tri-fold it. But I at least wanted you to show, or at least I wanted to show you how to go about doing it. So I flip it over, and then the first one I just go down and then just put it right on the line of the next picture. Fold, and then I come back and put it on the next line. Fold, and then just repeat the process. And then you just go down and just back and forth. So it's once you kind of get the hang of it, it's not too bad. Just got to keep it straight. Just keep folding it as you're going down. And I actually screwed up with the book covers. I actually used all of the book covers. There was, I think, 3. All the book covers were like 3-1. But then there was another one I saw that was a tutu that I thought was a book cover, and it was, but it wasn't for the wooden ones, it was for this. So, but I've already used, and I kind of noticed that the book was a little smaller, or the book cover was a little smaller than the other ones, but I didn't think nothing of it. So I just went ahead and put it on the book and just called it good, but that book is already glued in somewhere. So I'm going to use a book cover off of another book that, I mean, since it's a sticker, I'm just going to take it off of another book and everything. So it isn't really going to matter because this is going to be laying flat on a desk and everything. So I just peeled this off. It's, I screwed it up. Should have been looking through the instructions. So, and just kind of slowly peel it off, and it still should be sticky enough to fit into this. And the only good thing is, I got my spine already set up. So, and then all you do is just kind of put it in, and then just kind of wrap the spine as best you can to it. And then there's your book. And again, I'm not worried about what you see or what you don't see. It's, it's got a little excess on the top, which I can cut off if I needed to. I can just lay it flat with a craft knife and just kind of go through and cut off the excess. There's your little book that you're going to be putting on. And I think we are good. And there's another little paper that we'll put on. But so pretty much all of this is going to go on your little cabinet here. So I'm going to put the sticker on first, and you're doing 110. And it looks like, yeah, so this just goes on the top right here. It just goes on the top right here. Just as like a little sticky note, everything. So, and you can always, pull it out if you need to, or, bend it a little just so it's kind of not hanging inside too much. And then we have our two books are going to go into the shelves right here, come off of the shelving that we did earlier and everything. So just there we go. And then you just wipe the glue off on the table here. So these, the kitty here. Okay. Those are in that. A little bit of glue. Okay. So there's nothing that goes into this small hole right here. But this one will go into here, but I'll wait till I stand everything up, which I think is going to be right now. Just like before, you don't want to go past the back of the desk, because you just don't know if this is going to go up against the wall or not. So you definitely want to make sure it doesn't go past this right here. So we'll just put our books on, and then have our little picture here. And again, you just want to kind of press it down to make sure it stays. Not killing the sticker here. Killing the sticker. Okay, and then we want our little radio. I think that's what this is. It's a radio, not a speaker. Got a little speaker or radio here. Yep, and then we're gonna put it on the little template. Again, just press it down, make sure it's in there good, cover the template. Nobody's gonna see it. Okay. Okay, so now I'm gonna put, so we only got a couple things left here. So I'm gonna get our little picture here. So they want you to get this right here and just kind of lay it in, but then have it kind of sticking out a little. So I put some glue on the bottom of it. I'm just going to press it down. Just kind of maybe push it in a little bit more, but just kind of have it right there. Then let me actually put glue on the lamp. It should go into the hole here, but just in case there's not that big of a tab that's that it's going down into. So yeah, so okay, so that is there. And then you got your book that's going to go right here. So I'm just going to put some glue on the spine. And again, you're not going to see the book cover, so that's why I'm not too worried about, you know, what cover's on it, even though I should have used the one that it says to use. So things happen. So I'm just going to just put the book down. I'm just going to press down on the and you can always, you know, press the book together to close it up a little bit more, but I'm fine with that. And then last is our coffee cup. And this is actual like plastic piece that came separately in the bag. You didn't have to put this together. It's not wood. Since it is a little heavier, just definitely wanted to put more more glue on it, but just set it there, just kind of press down, get it to set. That's not really setting. I may have to keep an eye on that to see if I need to use any other type of glue or anything with it, but that's your so that's your desk right there. So it looks like we're putting a chair together. And of course, the stain side is kind of facing the same way, so just have them make sure they're facing the same direction when you're putting stuff in. And again, not using glue. It's just it'll just be fitting close together, and just put the back in, and then put the seat in if it'll go. And just match everything up on the other side. Okay. Again, not using glue. It's fine, it's not going anywhere. Couple of legs, so that's why it's kind of tilting a little bit. So I already did my books. And again, it don't really matter which books you use or anything like that. And I don't think it really matters how they go on the chair. It's just putting some books on a chair. Okay. Get it on one side there. And yep. Let's see. Yeah, they're facing the same direction. Okay, so you got those in. And then this is going to be glued down to the bottom, which is a pain in the butt. So you pretty much, there's no groove or anything, so you just gotta just glue 3 of the sides in. Let's see, yep. And I'm just gonna kind of sneak it in. Just make sure it's flush with the bottom. There we go. I'm not worried about the, you know, not gluing it to that 4th side, whatever. It's got 3 sides it's glued on, so I ain't too worried about it. Okay, so it looks like it's staying. So, oh, unless I drop it. Okay, so there's your little box. So you pretty much want the stain side on, you know, facing the same direction, which is going to be like this way. So, okay. So the next part is you're taking these 3 paper pictures right here. I'd already done 2 of them. And it looks like you're rolling them up. And it says to glue them, but they're cut out like they're stickers. Okay. So I'd already done 2 of them. And being stickers, I mean, you could cut them out and try to roll them, glue them, and everything, but I was kind of thinking, I figured an easier way is to use toothpicks. And I'll show you what I mean, because it's going to get rolled up anyway, and then since they're stickers, I mean, why not just go ahead and stick them now? And you're going to roll them the long ways, not the short ways, just so they'll be sticking out of the thingy. At least that's the way I did it anyway. So I just got a toothpick, just put it right on the edge, and then, if you can, and then just rolled it. Just rolled it over. Just keep pressing the edge just so it stays. And then just continue rolling it till it's done. So the toothpicks are almost a perfect size of what they're wanting, or you know, if you wanted it bigger, you know, so be it, or whatever. But I think this is a good size. And then just go right to the edge of the paper, and then use a craft knife. Just press down, or you can get some crimpers and cut them. And then I just roll it over, and then just cut the edge of the toothpick off. I think this is just easier, because if you use crimpers, scissors, or pliers, or whatever, you run a risk of bending the end point. But oh, there we go. So there's your rolled up paper. So, and you're not even going to see the toothpick or whatever, but I mean, definitely a lot easier than gluing it together. Glue on. And you got to be careful if the bottom part isn't dry yet. You definitely don't want to press down too hard, but just kind of have them like that. And just let them dry. Okay, so while we're waiting for that, looks like so the table looks like table goes into these 2 holes right there. And all right, let's see how this goes. See if I knock anything off. Okay, one that has me scared because they went in way too easy. So, way too easy. And I'm actually going to glue the front pegs too, just on the bottom. That way it'll help kind of. Now since I glued it, I definitely don't want to be moving it too much, which I just did. There we go. Whew. Be careful. That's why it's a good thing to make sure everything is dry before you put it in. Oh my goodness. Cray, cray. I'm just kind of getting some of this excess glue out. Not really going to see in the back. Okay. Whew. So definitely make sure everything's dry because, you know, most stuff it's going to pop out once you push this down and everything. It's going to push everything off and whatever. So, okay. So now, okay, the leg only has one. So I'll just do the same. Just going to glue the tab that's on the leg, but on the other legs, I'm going to glue the bottoms just to hold it. But this one should be a little easier to at least place, so I'm not moving stuff around. Yep, there we go. Okay. Glue the bottoms of these, and then put this right there. Just kind of push down on it. All right. So okay, so just to show a little close-up of everything. So that's how the desk, the chair, and your little scroll or music sheet holder should go. And then the music sheets, you can arrange them however you want. I mean, I just have them like that, but that's how it should go. So it looks like we're going to be working on an upper wall on the other side of the one we had just put on. So I wanted you to glue this onto the wall, so I went ahead and just glued it. It's just another piece to get on there just to let it dry and everything, so hopefully I don't knock it off. It's not completely dry, but we'll see. These two. Okay, so first thing is going to be putting these on, which I may have to glue these on. They're actually kind of loose. Yeah. So they're on the back, so I'm not too worried about being seen or whatever. So and I'm just gonna hold that in for now, and then just throw some glue down, and that's facing forward. So okay, there we go. Okay, so those are in tight. Okay. How that's going to be, but we'll see. Then, okay, it just looks weird. Looks like it's off or something. Maybe I gotta level it, or I don't know. Just looks off. Let me just throw a little bit of glue in here. Keep that in place. Okay, yeah, that just looks odd. It's like it needs to go forward a little bit or something, but let me fix it by the time we get it going. All right, so now we're gonna be putting these little shelves on, like like so. And yeah, these definitely don't need to be glued. Definitely do not need to be glued. Okay, so it should look like that. Okay, so you get your shelves on, you got this floor on. Again, don't look, oh, I guess it looks straight now. And you get your 3 supports in the back here. And the wires are eventually going to be going behind there. So, and again with these, you want to make sure that they don't go past the back of the wall or the back of the cabinet, because this is going to go right up against the wall and everything. So. It's harder with the record. Okay, so that's what those look like. So I'm not going to tilt it back too much because it's still drying. To slide that into the wall, like so. So not too difficult. Okay. Now, what did I do? Okay. So now we have our another little banister that's going to go down into here. Okay. This piece here goes on. If I can get it on. And then this pops on. Onto that piece, but it don't, this I can't, this won't go in anymore, you know, and it's flush with the cabinet. So, and I can't move this, you know, the way it is. So I'll just try to hold this here. Oh, dang it. So yeah, so I mean, it's there, but it's not perfect. But that's all right though. I mean, it's in where it's supposed to be. The walls there and good. Okay, so now, yeah, I had a picture fall off again. I'm having a lot of pictures fall off. Okay, so now you get your longer wire, route it through this way, and then you get one of your fasteners that we love so much. Again, these won't go in all the way. They're just meant to hold the wire. And I already sanded the edge to hopefully go in the hole. I may try to glue that. Okay. I got that one in. Shh, don't tell nobody. Okay, and then the next one goes into here, and it'll go right there. And for the shorter one, they actually want you to connect it down here at the bottom. But I think that's why they don't want the wires to be like right on top of each other. Oh, I'm not pushing on the picture. There we go. Okay. So again, there's a little bit of room to play with, depending on how much room I need for the lights to go in and everything. So, but that's kind of how it looks on the side with the connector here, the wire kind of going down. This is the shorter cable going through there, and I can still pull it because I've still got a little bit of room over here and everything, and then I'll pull this one in and out depending on how far this needs to go over and stuff. So using any glue, or anything with this. So got to make sure the pieces, there's a longer piece and a smaller piece. So you want to make sure the smaller piece is on the bottom, or the smaller length, because it won't fit, because it's supposed to go on top of this bottom piece here. And you also want to make sure that the little outline of the foot pedal is on the bottom. And then this top piece is, I'm guessing, just glued on. And then just put it on where it's level with the back. So it'll be sticking out the front just a little bit. Level with the sides. So should be level with the sides and level with the back, because you're potentially going to be putting it against a wall. So okay, and then a little bit over here. I think I took it all off. Okay, that was a little tighter. Okay, so they should be facing straight up. Should be. Then, this is going to be the hard part. You have these really thin legs that are going to have to go up into here. Or is that the... No, I think it's this way. The thicker... Yeah, the thicker part goes... Oh, man. I would definitely sand the back part. I wouldn't force it too much. I'd try to maybe sand the back non-stained side. There we go. Just gotta be careful. Don't push it too hard, but There we go. I think I got it in there. Because it is not going. And these are going into the where you're not even going to see it. So definitely got to sand the sides a little bit to get it to go. And if you got to glue it, then, oh, look at that. It went right in. And I bent that just a little bit. So, yeah. Okay, probably too much glue, but it's all good. Again, just line them up where they're level. All the way up at the top. They're level. On the sides. And if they're not, I mean, then so be it. It has a little lip on it, so it was actually two pieces. So this bigger, flatter piece had a little template on the bottom where this is supposed to go, and I just laid it flat on the ground and then just pushed this right up against it to make sure it was flat, and then just made sure this was, you know, flush on the bottom. And then so I just, you know, had this was already glued in, and so this is gonna go that is going to go into there. So, oops, I pushed it down. Dang it. That's what happens when you have excess glue and you push it down. Ugh. See if I can get as much as I can here. Okay, make sure the black keys are facing to the back. And just put it down. And push it down in the back. Okay. There we go. Okay. So that's kind of what it should look like now. I'll go ahead and just throw some glue in here because the foot pedal's going to go into there. So push that down. Just make sure it matches the template as close as possible. Then get your actual foot pedals. There's already glue in there, so just push it in. It goes all the way down. Just making sure it. So this is going to go right here. Just kind of make sure it's centered. Not going nowhere. And then we got our wine glasses that are got holes in them, so I'll just go in there, but they're loose, so I'll have to throw some glue on it. That one, glass in. Okay, and just kind of set it up so everything's straight, doesn't tip over. And then it wants you to get a 111, a little sticker of a music sheet, and you can either stick it there, or if you wanted to kind of fold it a little, you know, to place here. It's kind of up to you, you know, just to show that it's, you know, maybe just sticking that right there and everything. So, but kind of put it like that, everything. So, two different numbers for the legs. The opposites are like 15, and these are like 30. So, and you want to make sure that the center hole is facing to the right. And then, yeah, oh yeah, they're gonna pop right off. Okay. So, we're just gonna throw some glue there. They're all facing out. All facing out. Okay, I think I confused myself. Okay. That's right. Okay, no, all right. I'll get it here in a second. There we go. Let's face it out. Yep. So I did have it right. Okay. So the 15s go here and the 30s go here. So you pretty much want the black. The blacks on these corners and then the blacks kind of right there. And then have our cat posing right there. So you just set it down and just make sure it's level and all. Okay, so now where this goes is it goes in the little corner back here up against the wall, and there's no holes for it to get put in or anything, so you just, there's little templates on the floor, so you just put it on the floor, glue the bottom. I'm just gluing the bottom of the piano here. I'm not even worrying about the legs because I don't think they're even going to touch. Just try to put it in the corner as best I can. Push it all the way back against the wall, push it down, making sure it holds. Okay. And then the cat goes in. Okay, so the cat actually faces the shorter end because that's the way it goes. So now we're going to glue each of the legs on the very bottom. And then hopefully the cat won't fall off. And we'll just put them right there. Can't really hide the template on that one because it's not covering it completely. So, all right. So that's the piano and the cat in the back corner there. So definitely getting down there to the final part. How easy or hard is that on the... So these pieces definitely are not going into too difficult, so I'll just throw in a little bit of glue. Nothing too cray. But I just want to make sure it doesn't come apart or anything, so. Okay. Just throw a little peel. Okay. To that. So now you have your three pieces right here, and the one with the extra little knot in it. You should have two of those, and then one that doesn't have it. So these should just slide right onto the back. Right onto the back and the bottom of the piece. which I'm not going to glue on. I'm just going to just put it on there. So it should slide on the top all the way down. And then it should slide into that little groove right there. Okay, why is it? Oh, that's why. Okay, you have an opening right here too. What was going on here? There we go. Okay. There we go. All right, now let's see what's going on here. Okay. Yeah, okay. Then you got a middle one right here that just is just sitting there. So just throw a little bit on here. We're going to be throwing on another little CB5. There's nothing. Oh, gotcha. Okay, so you want to have the three grooves facing back, and then these should pop right on. Or if you want to lay it flat and just kind of push them in, put it right on there like so. Still just enough to get it to stick. And you definitely don't want to move it around too much, so if you can drop it right where you need it to be, just press it down a little bit. Just make sure top and bottom are good. So I think they are. Just press down. Okay. So in the picture, it actually looks like it shows this circle like hollow, but it isn't. There's no way for you to punch it out or anything. So hopefully it doesn't need to be hollow. So we shall see. Definitely don't need any glue for that. Why would I have it on the inside if... Oh, okay. I'll put it on the inside. Okay, and then get your one piece with the name on the front, Youngyo. Just pop it in. It should press right in. And then the back, kind of the same. Make sure the little cutout part is at the top. Like that. If you can see it, it's not straight, it's a little cutout section. Okay. So now, looks like we got our D34s going up through the top here. Or through the, go through the bottom. And then turn it to get it to stay, and then it comes off super easy. So a little bit of glue, and then you can turn it to get it to stay. So you definitely don't want to glue this piece in or anything. So have to raise it up and then move it over for the record, potentially. And then, of course, just putting the record on. So I'm guessing it's not supposed to be hollow. It's just a picture looks like it's supposed to be hollow. So just put the record on. Just cover the circle that's already there. And there you go. Okay. And then we had another one of those, you know, pictures with the stands on the back. So we had a couple of those that we had to do. And then we just glued some records together. You know, just put some glue on top and then just did those like we've done before. Okay, so now... That don't make sense. All right. So now we are going to place everything on top of our cabinet here. So you got a nice little square here in the middle that this will go down on. And again, just want to make sure it doesn't go past the back, because this will probably go up against the wall, maybe. And then you got your records that'll go here. So I'll put those there. Again, cover the template so you don't see it. Okay, so now you're just going to be putting these in the front. Just enough space to not go past the back, but I don't know why they would have two of these sitting right here, but I'm just going to put one kind of more toward the front. And then put this one right behind it. Put that one right behind it, kind of shoot it over a little bit just so you can see. Just kind of push it down to hold. Okay, so there's your cabinet with everything on top of it. The speakers. So I already did one. That's what it kind of looks like. And with these, you want to make sure these lines match up all the way around, because I think one part is just a little higher than the other. So you just want to make sure those lines line up all the way. So we're going to start with, you want to make sure the notch is in the back. Okay, so I'm gonna, and they go in like really easy, so you can not put glue, but I'm putting glue. So put one there, and then you need your smaller pieces, and again, want to make sure that everything lines up. So see, that's how, see how it's not lining up on the bottom pieces and everything. So got that upside down. There we go. So that one's lined up now. And then grab the other one. Okay. Those are lined up. Okay, so now I'm going to just throw some glue on these, and then use this one and just kind of find one of the holes and then just get them to line up. Maybe a little difficult. And just kind of wipe the glue off. Okay. Oh. I want to make sure the stained part on the bottom is facing up, not down. Almost forgot that. So make sure this bottom piece, is the stain is facing up, not down. I don't know what I was thinking. Okay, it should still hold. Okay, so for the back, again, make sure the lines match, and then just throw some glue into the holes here. Don't worry about the sides because it's not even going to touch the sides. See, it's off. Yep, okay. So just pop it in there. Yeah, like I said, it's not touching the sides at all, so there's no point in putting glue on the sides. Just in the holes there. And then we're going to put glue on this cover part for the speaker. Just throw some in a little bit in the middle, a little bit on the corners. And then it should just pop right in. And you just want to make sure it lines up. Make sure it's right in the center. Covers the speakers, and there you go. There's your speaker. Lines match all the way around. There we go. You got the shelf up here, and then the cabinet and everything is going to go right here, right above that wire and everything. So, and I think that's why they left a little bit of space in the middle so it would cover the wire. There's really, well, there is a template, and actually, I guess it don't matter. So I'm just going to throw some glue on the very bottom of the cabinet, and then there is a template there. Let's see if I can get it to match up, and then just push it back against the wall. Yeah. Just kind of, there we go. That's why they gave you a little bit of a gap behind the cabinet, just so you can get it to fit behind the light and everything. And then you got one speaker that's going to go right here. I may turn it just a little bit because it puts their speaker straight, right? Okay, and then a little bit of glue on the bottom. That's this other speaker. Oh, see, that one's turned anyway. So that one goes right there. Just make sure I push it back far enough. There we go. Push it down. Turn that just a little bit more. Okay. All right. Oh, so let me get my pictures in. So for these, it's just kind of putting some right on the edge of the bottom and then right on the back part. I'm not too worried about which ones go where, but just kind of putting them on here. Put that there. Yeah, kind of hit the wall a little soon. Okay. Right. Get the glue off. All right. So there is your record player, your speakers, your 3 pictures and everything. Got our next pieces out. Looks like we're going to be working on the top of the Book Nook, putting on one of the lights, looks like. Okay, so first part was getting this piece out here, and then you're going to get one of your wax paper big squares, and we're going to glue it right down onto it. And so you're just going to throw some glue around the edges. So I'm not going to put too much because it seemed like if you use a lot of glue, on the wax paper, it doesn't really do well with so much glue. So I'm just gonna put a little bit around it. Like I said, I'm not gonna put too much. I'm just try to put a little bit around the sides here. Just enough to hold the piece down, and if you want to, you can always get your toothpick and, you know, kind of spread the glue around just so it doesn't clump up and everything. So then just gonna throw this on here, let it catch, and you just want to make sure that the opening is covered completely. Then you can just smooth out the glue, go over the edges with it, and then if you want, just remove the rest of the glue. And then as I can see right now, it's starting to curl up, and that's what I was saying about being careful with it, because the glue makes it, the wax paper kind of curl up, so you may need to fold it over, and then kind of put something heavy on it until the glue dries, because if not, the ends of the wax paper will curl up and everything. So yeah, just put something heavy on it and give it some time to dry, and then it'll just kind of straighten out. So with these pieces here, there's 4 of them. There's 4 sides that we're going to be putting around this right here. So this is the same thing. So you cut out 4 of the wax papers for this, and then you put I put glue in certain spots to make sure I hit all the corners in the middle, and then I pressed down on it, and then the sides started curling up on me. And so what I did was I just turned it over, just laid it flat, and I put something heavy on it to let it dry. Then went to the next one, did the same, put some glue on the corners, kind of in the middle, make sure it covered the design on the non-stain side. Just make sure it covered the design, didn't protrude down the bottom. Put it down, something heavy on top, and then just repeated that process until I got all 4 done. Your thick this your PVC is what they call it, and it's going to go on here pretty much covering the tip down to the tip and the sides. So as long as that's good, then you're golden. But it's got a protective layer on both sides of it. So I would probably glue the corners and then the middle right here. I would do the corners of the PVC and then do the middle of this, just so you know exactly where you're putting the glue, so you don't you're not trying to guess on here exactly where it's going to go. Just work on just getting one of the edges to, there we go, and then come loose, and then just peel it. Get that done. And it's just got a lot of static to it, so I'm just hitting the corners where it should go, and then I'm just going to throw a little bit right here in the middle, and then just going to place it down. Ooh, almost got that one. And I mean, you'd prefer it to be level, perfect, and all that, but if If it's not, that's totally fine. And just press down, press down, and press down there in the middle, and press down here. Because the main thing is just making sure that the opening is covered. Got a little crooked, but I ain't worried about it. It's covering the opening. That's all I care about. So we will press on. So it's, like I said, it's not straight, but not worried about it. Okay, so looks like you get one of your side pieces. Pretty much go all the way down to the bottom and slide it on. Make sure it's all the way down. Okay, so once you put the first one on, then you get the second piece in, and it looks like it goes in the second part down here. So in between these two grooves. So there should be like a little bit of a space. So you get that in there. So you should have a little gap going through. And then now it's gonna be the hard part. So per se. So now you gotta get it into both grooves, the bottom and this top, which actually might not be too bad, but if you can work it in at the top first and then work its way down at the bottom, that actually wasn't too bad. Okay, and then do the same. Push it in, and then push it in, and then push it in. Sometimes it can push a piece out and everything. So, okay, so now you should have your two main pieces, and then you get your four side pieces. So now you're gonna get the last piece here, your F25, and pretty much put it right on top and fill these grooves in with these right here. And hopefully this part goes in, yep. A little easier. So you just got to be careful with it and make sure it doesn't break. So this is what your little chandelier-ish piece should look like. Is just like on the other ones. You're going to grab it right underneath it and bend it down to where it's like an L-shaped, like that. And then what you're gonna do is get your H5 piece. This is what's the difficult part, is you're kind of working right here. So you're gonna get, and it doesn't matter how this goes, it's all the same shape and everything, but you get your little H5 piece. Let's see if I can kind of put it here. I guess I can try to do it like this, just because this is the way it's going. And then this is going to go in the little hole here. And I guess you could glue it in if you wanted to. I don't know. I'm almost thinking maybe I want to pull this this connector, or this U-shaped holder. I'm almost tempted to pull that thing out, and because you're not going to see it behind the wall once we put it up and everything, and it's going to be awful tight to put in there. And then once I get it all the way it should be, if I need to yeah, so we're going to take this out for now. Put you over here. That way I can mess with the wires however I want to mess with it, and it won't hurt nothing. So I glued around the circle, and then I glued a little bit right here because it's going to hit down here. So you want to make sure that the opening faces to the left. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to line this up. Push it down, make sure it's good, make sure it stays. And gluing it down also helps hold it as well. I'm pulling this tight for now. Yeah, I know, I gotta hold it. I know. And then I'm gonna push that in. Hopefully it'll hold. So the light wouldn't stay glued into the hole with my craft glue, but you have to glue this part in on top of this one. So what I did was I got this part to fit over top of the black wires to hold it in place because it's got to go on top of this piece right here. So if you can glue this part down, it'll hold the light in, and you have to have the wire go down, and I'm doing it this way just because it's easier to handle. The wires go straight underneath the opening down here, and then just glue it. Okay, so I put glue on all that. So now I'm going to try to put this right on top of the circle and the hole, and then I'm going to get the wire in and press it down where it's flush, and then I'm just going to sit here and hold it. And I'm okay if it doesn't. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to get it up to where it's flush with the top. And again, doesn't have to be exactly right on top, but I would try to get it as level as possible. So I'm just hoping this is dry enough for me to kind of mess with. And I'm glad, glad I pulled that holder out for the wire. I have to still in place. Yeah, okay. So we got to turn this over and pretty much glue it to this. Glue it right in the middle. And this piece right here should go almost right to the edge. And if you follow the solid piece, then that should be where the wires come out. I'm hoping. So the two holes are, you dropped. Two holes, this is where you got to make sure you're gluing it in the right location. So the two holes are facing forward. And this is going to go like this. So if you always want to put it like this and then flip it over. Okay, so I did have it backwards. Just so you know, it's actually laying flat. So that way you know for sure it's laying the right way. So okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to glue the crap out of this, making sure it doesn't come off at all. Go down the row here. Because we're pretty much gluing right on to the plexiglass here, or PVC, and yeah, that looks good. Making sure the top is good. That actually looks good. I push it in just a little, just so it's not. Okay. So I'm not going to touch it. It looks like it's center. Can you guys tell me if it's center? I said it doesn't really say one way or the other, but to me it looks like it is center. Yeah. So got all this dry, and I think I actually got lucky. I mean, it's actually on here good. It's not coming off or whatever, but you definitely want to go down, follow the path of this line right here when you're putting it on, because this right here is actually going to go into this opening right here. Is going to go into this opening right here. This right here is going to go into this opening. So that's where you got to make sure to follow that line of the design and everything to make sure that it's right on it. Or what I did was make sure it was in between these two squiggly lines and everything. So yeah. Okay, so it is on there. And then I'm going to turn this over just to show, which is going to be, I won't say difficult, but you got to be careful since it's still kind of connected. And then I'm going to flip this over. And the thing is, this is the only wall that's attached right now. I don't have the back, and I don't have this wall on right now. So these pegs or connectors and this back connector has nothing to connect to or anything. So what you can do is at least go ahead and connect it to this. That way you kind of know how far over this is going to go. And as you can see, that one somewhat went down. I don't know. We'll have to see with the wires and everything. I don't think it went down all the way though. And I think it's just because of all the wires and everything, because they wanted them to be right here, but it's not really going down any further, so it may not go down anymore. So not for sure, but this is going into that little hole with the wires. That's why I had that opening down there. And as you can see, these may not even make it back down to here. So if I don't put that connector back on here, I'm okay with it. You know, I may put some glue or use one of the tape pieces to try to hold it there, but I don't, since it keeps popping out, I don't think the tape is gonna hold it. But you're gonna be putting another wall here, so you're not even gonna see this, so that's why I'm not even worrying about that right now. So, but now what we need to do, okay, first is just make sure the wires are in all the wires are in all these connectors, especially for this front one. And what they want you to do is put this in like so, and then with this connector on, get the pliers. With this connector on, bend it right where the connector is. Bend it, grab it right behind it, and then bend it at a 45 or at an L shaped to where it looks like that. And then what you're going to be doing is, and I may be pulling the wires back depending on how this goes, but so with the light facing in, you are going to put this connector up into here. Okay, and as you can see, these wires are not, see, and that's those. These right here. I'm just grabbing the wires for that longer one and pulling it tight. So black, pull it tight, red, pull it tight. So just make sure they're tight and all the wires are here. And still not for sure why that is. Oops. Oh, there we go. Okay, so got that pushed down all the way. So it does go all the way down. Everything. Okay, so you got all these wires here, so I may, which I think is funny, I think the longer wires actually go down far enough for you to, put that connector back in. So I may go ahead and do that one on the longer ones, because the upper ones won't reach down that far. Okay, so yeah, so with those wires connected, the rest of them I don't think are going to go anywhere. Not worried about it. So, but that should go all the way down. You get your wires tight. And if you want, you could always bend this piece right where, I had it like right behind it. But if you bend it right behind it, then that piece won't move. But once I put the front piece on, it'll push it forward and won't even worry about it or anything. So, okay. So that's what the top piece looks like. You got your front light on. You got the side with the wires going straight across. Got your middle light connector and the wooden pieces into the slot here. Got lucky that I actually put it right on. But like, again, if you follow this wooden piece on the underside with it, then it should line up perfect. And the circle goes right here. And then just whatever two wires hang down low enough for you to put that connector on, then go ahead and do it. But then the other ones, I think there was another connector that's supposed to go up here, but again, you ain't gonna see it. There's gonna be another wall going right here. Just trying to line it up. Make sure it's level all the way around, which, I don't know, kind of looks like you're not going to get it level all the way around. It's just the way it be. Okay. So it looks pretty good, so not too bad. So we'll let that dry for a second while we work on our other little pieces here. So these are going to be holders for our other guitars and everything. And these H's is what I call them. These H's are, the only difference in them is the very bottom part of it is the length of the space. So this is like a medium space, this is a bigger gap space, and this is a smaller space. So these right here are going to go into the top because these are all the same size and everything. And then these are going to go over the guitars to hold them and everything. So you can glue these if you want to keep it from moving around and whatever. Okay. So now they want you to glue the guitars in, because the one we just did, and you get this one and then this little violin, they want you to glue these on first before putting them on the wall. And I think okay, so this will go like so, and I guess you just gonna have to like slide it up until it kind of sticks. And then probably have to lay it down on its front part to get it to dry and everything. So just put like the smaller end in and then slide it down a little till it doesn't, till it's right on there. And it may angle forward just a little bit. I think it just depends on the guitar and stuff. So I'm gonna just lay that down so it'll dry. And then the next one is our the guitar we just glued it back on. So a little bit bigger, so I'm gonna a little bit more. And again, it gets a little bigger as you go down, so I don't think you're gonna get too much further on it, but just kind of push it in the back. And again, it's probably gonna, you know, be leaning forward a little bit. And this has just got a little bitty. Little bitty. There we go. Didn't really want to force it in, but just making sure its back part is nice and straight. It's leaning forward. As you can see, it's kind of angled, like I was talking about. So I think that's the way they want you to do it. So whoops. Okay, so that's on there. And then I'm sure the bottom one isn't going to stay either, so just throw a little bit. I usually don't put it where the shelf is going to go or anything, but just to give it some extra hold and everything. Okay, so now get our C8, and the stain side will face to the right. Let's see if this is going to be, no, yep. So stain side facing that way. And then the bottom piece, the stain side will face the other way. Just get this excess out. So the stain side, they want it to face to the left. So you're going to have vice versa. Okay. That's on there. Again, just wiping off some excess. Just doesn't show as much. Okay. Even though it dries clear. Even though it dries clear. And there we go. Push that together. Okay, you got that side. And we'll just do the same for this other side. And again, you want the stain part to face on the inside. Okay. Oh, there we go. I think I got All right, so you got that together. Not looking too bad. Okay, and then you got 2 shells. They're going to go on top. And then the smaller piece will go first, and you're gonna, of course, stay inside facing down. So face down. The tab will be a little longer because you're gonna be putting on the second shelf right on top of it. So, okay. So this way, just throw some glue on top here. Put as much as what you feel you need. Don't have to be like a ton or anything, but it's just up to you. Again, just pushing it down. Just clearing off the excess. Okay. So there's your shelf. Let me putting some stuff in it. Okay, so I cheated again. So next step was putting like another little radio together. But again, it was the same as the speakers and that other radio. There were 3 separate pieces. And then making sure the stain was facing the back way. You put some glue on it, put the second piece on. And then with this outer piece, just put some glue on it and then put it on. And then I just laid it flat on the surface to make sure it was level, you know, in 2 different areas, whatever. And then they had these little knobs right here that I just threw some glue down on the template that it was showing. And then just placed them down, and then just pushed them down as far as I could. So we did that one, and we have a little picture we're going to be doing something with. And then have a couple records that you had to glue one on top of the other one. So I just threw some glue on top of this bottom piece and then just set this one straight on top of it. And then just kind of pushed it back to where it didn't extend past the bottom record. Just because it's probably going to go to the back of the wall here. Then my favorite pieces is the cassettes. So you had your 3 cassettes, and then I just glued them. Just put glue on the back of this first one, and then just press the second one up to it. I had it sticking out a little bit, and then I threw some glue on the back of the second one, and then put the bigger one, pressed it up back against it, laid it flat on the ground, and then just pushed these first 2 back, just so that bigger one would be sticking out and everything. So that's how I put that one. But again, you can arrange it however you want and everything. You can always separate them and everything. And then we got 2 sets of books that we're going to be doing, and I already glued 2 of them together. Are you kidding me? Okay. I already glued 2 of them together. And then the third piece is going to be kind of angled or whatever. So all this is going to go into here. It's just getting it to stay where you want it is the tricky part with me trying to show you stuff so it doesn't lean back and everything. So I'll try my best. Get rid of this excess. Okay. So, actually you don't have too much room, but I'm going to kind of keep them toward the front. Whoops, let go. And then kind of angle them a little bit. Again, this is going to be, I believe, on the back wall. So, may or may not be able to see it, but okay, so yeah. Don't want to angle it. I want it to there we go, like that. Just so you can kind of see, cover a little bit. Okay. Okay, next I'll go ahead and put the record in. Yeah, I can't really. So this is going to go down here at the bottom. Don't have to be right on the edge. You can have it sticking out a little bit from the corner here, or from the side. Doesn't have to be all the way there. Get our books again, our second set of books. And may lean them just a little bit, just so they're not straight on or whatever. So, and then the next one is going to be leaning a little bit too, just a little bit more. Kitty here? Nope. Okay. We'll just throw that right there. Okay. And then last thing is our picture. That I'm surprised they don't put a they didn't want you to put a holder on the back of it, but I think it wouldn't be I think it would be too much in the back to put a holder on the back like all the other pictures that we've had. So I think they just wanted you to try to just lean it in here. Just like that. Yeah, I think that one would have been too much, but as long as you get the lean, I mean, that's all that matters. So, but there you go. So there's all your books, records, cassettes, radio, picture, and everything. And then the extra interesting thing with the books, so it asks you to do 6 books. So since I screwed up on that other one where I accidentally put the accordion style book cover on just a regular book. Once I did that, then it asked for 6. Well, I didn't have a 6th one. I only had 5. But I'd already threw my book cover sheet away, but I don't remember seeing an extra book cover. I'm pretty sure I used them all. So you may or may not have enough books to do this. So if you don't, that's fine. Just do whatever you have. I just had extra spare books from previous models that I just used one of those to fit into these and everything. So just be wary of that you may have an extra, or may not have 6 books at the end of this, but maybe I may have screwed up somewhere else. Known to happen. So, but just be aware of that. That's why I always keep all the extra stuff that I get from previous models, because you just never know when you're going to need it again. So, okay. So now we're going to grab our J wall. J. Okay, and then we are going to, let's see here, what have I got? We are going to glue these down to here. The only thing is I need something to hold the guitar up so it'll stay, because I don't think the glue will. Oh, you got to be kidding me. I did that, didn't I? Man. So the stupid me that I am, if you see, the stain side is facing the wall, not the other way around. My goodness. Okay, so I think we're going to try to glue these down. So again, you're going to have to put something underneath the guitars to hold them upright, just so they stay in place until the glue dries and everything. So I've got a bunch of tools and pencils and some other stuff that we are going to try. See what happens. Okay, so first guitar. I mean, I guess it really don't matter which order you put them in, but you know me, always follow what the instructions say. So where's mine? So the first one I'm going to try or put on is the green one. So put that in there, and then I'm going to, wow, that's actually too big. I'm going to put my, wow, actually, you know what? The glue may actually hold if you put enough on it, and of course if you follow the template. So the next one is the bigger guitar that we worked on. Sorry if my hand's in the way. Just trying to get this to push this down to get it to hold, and then, no, that's two. So yeah, so the glue may actually hold. Nope. Okay. Yeah, it's got a little bit on me. That would work. It's too big. Just trying to put something underneath it just in case type thing. And it doesn't have to go all the way under, but just as long as it's holding it, then I'm fine with that. So, and again, if you put enough glue, it looks like it'll hold. Kind of taking the side view here. Because we're going to be putting on our wall that we just put our guitars and everything on. No, not yet. Okay, so slide this over. So the guitar should go right here in the opening. And it looks like we're just going to connect it down at the bottom. You know, down at the bottom here, and then at the top right here for now. So we'll see if that's loose or not. I've got to those go in. Yep. Okay, so those are in, and let's see how loose or tight these upper pieces are. Okay. All right, so there's it, and then, yep, guitars are inside. So the side's on. I mean, I know, I guess maybe if I put the back on, it'll seal it a little bit more, but kind of debating whether or not I need to glue this bottom part, because it would just, that went on way too easy. I'm actually going to put glue on the bottom, because the bottom part just went on way too easy and everything. So, what? Well, hang on a second. I'm busy. Hang on a second. So I'm just throwing some glue. Sorry, I'm not showing it, but somebody's in the way. Move. Okay. So put these back in, and then that up for these to slide back on. I won't glue the top. I think it'll be fine, but so the last little steps here I think is just the back part of the book nook. So get all the pieces out. I just petted you already. So we're gonna be working on the lever that's gonna go to handle the back door to get to the battery box of the lights. So other little connectors. And these should go in, or you don't need any glue or anything. They'll go in pretty good. And then you have your one piece right here. Kind of turn it around, and then you use your little handle right here to, or your key to put that in. Okay. Let's see here. There we go. And then the key is gonna lock and unlock the door and everything. So it's kind of a weird design, but did I miss something? No? Okay. Okay, so now we're gonna put this on top. And then have it go down the first holes, and then you're going to get this. Have it slide down. Once you line it up, slide down, and then push this down to lock it in. And this should open and close. You can turn it to lock it and everything. So if you want. Okay, and now we're gonna get our, yeah, that's gonna go in way too easy. Get our shelf. We're gonna throw some glue on. And I'll just throw some maybe at the top just to make it stick a little more. I'll just line this up. And just push that in. Just make it flush. Oh. So put this in. Start at the top. Just try to lift it up a little bit. Just to get that in there, and then just slowly. Man, these aren't staying hardly at all. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. Okay, and then yeah, these aren't staying hardly at all. So, so the right side's okay, kind of, sorta. Maybe it's just because I didn't push it in all the way. Okay, but still, this isn't, it's like it's not, it's like something's blocking it, or, okay, so I'm gonna glue this in the back, kind of at the end. I won't do it right now, just so we can finish everything else that we need to do. But as you can see, like on the back part, I mean, there's a big old gap. It's not tight. These tabs aren't tight into the holes or nothing. So I'll probably throw some glue down in here, all the way down, and then I'll get some clamps, probably go this way and this way to hold everything in, and then kind of go from there. I mean, I was just hoping it would go in a little tighter, but it definitely is not. So, oh, and here I'll just turn it around. I'll show you what the back looks like. So there's the back. You got the note is actually the outside and everything. And again, like I said, you got a gap right here. It's not wanting to stay. I don't know if it's something inside that's causing it or what, but it's still loose. So I'll just glue it. Probably let it sit overnight just so the glue stays and everything. So, but we'll leave it like that for now. And maybe throw some glue on this one too. You won't even see it. Okay. So next step is put our last 3 sticker sheets, pictures, and we're going to be putting them right down here. So don't think it really matters kind of how or where you put them on. You can just pick a good spot, and it'll probably overhang just a little bit if you want. There's plenty of room for both, or for all 3. So just give you a little bit of space. And finally, this final one. Just throw it down here. Okay. This side of the floor. There we go. So we're taking that piece out, and then what we're going to be doing is putting this underneath just to cover the wire and everything. So if it sits down, should go right into the tabs. And just pressing on either side of it. And it looks like it's in. And it covers the bottom completely. That show you there. So now it's completely smooth on the bottom and everything. So not really any specific way it's supposed to go, one way or the other. So just as long as the tabs go in and everything. But we're just gonna glue this on right here, and it looks like it'll stay pretty good, that I don't need to kind of keep it together or whatever. I can just kind of put it there and I think it'll stay. So we're just gonna throw some glue on the outsides here, and I'm gonna glue the crap out of it, because since it's the outer part of it, then it's probably gonna, possibility of it getting caught. I'm not gonna do the top. Oh, here, let me start down here. Glue the top because the top's gonna be completely open up here, so it's not gonna hit nothing. So I'm just We'll just put it right up on it. Make sure it's level. And if it's just a little off, I'm fine with that. Like I said, it's a pretty straight piece. No bends or anything, but you may have to lay this on its back to get it to be, get flush or whatever. So, okay. So I'll let that dry for a little bit. I'll keep an eye on it, make sure it stays straight and everything. So I think it's good. And then the last thing is just the dust cover. So, and I'll probably do that on my final review, which will be the next step. Hi everyone, welcome back. So, got our book nook all squared away, got the glue set. I put on some clamps on the back and got it a little tighter so it wouldn't be too many gaps and everything. So just kind of walk around here, just show everything. You got the side here, secret rhythm, got the top, you got the back, you got our little door here that you can turn to open, got your battery pack, and they actually give you a little tool here that if you need it to reach in to grab the battery, to pull it out, to put new batteries in or whatever. And again, this doesn't have an on and off switch. It's kind of like one of the first ones I've seen that doesn't have that. So as soon as you put the batteries in and you hit that touch switch, it's going to light it up. So I waited until the very end, right before I put this back part on, to put batteries in, because even just messing with it early on when I put batteries in, I kept accidentally touching that touchpad and it kept going on and off, and it was just driving me crazy. But they gave you a little hook if you need it. I mean, you can always place it in here to store and everything, but you may not need it and everything. So, but you got your little locking thing. And again, like I said, I clamped back here, put glue down the sides and everything. So it's looking pretty good. And you got the other side of the book nook. And the bottom is just flat. There's really nothing to show on that one. Okay, so now now the moment of truth and whether the light works or not, because here's your touch switch where the little circle is and everything. So, hey, look at that. Actually works. I did something right for a change. So we'll just kind of start up top. You see the light up there, it's, right up into the middle of the top and everything. I'll see if I can get into the back. See if I can get focused. There we go. So you got your little view. Got a piano in the back. Got some music on the wall. Got the cat and some wine. You got a little lamp there in the back corner. Timepiece. Got your nice little stereo with some records and pictures or albums on the shelf, and the nice, old-timey speakers that we used to have back in the 80s and 90s and everything. And over here, got our guitars hanging up on the wall. Got some albums, some records hanging in the shelves. And then coming down, got some more, cassettes, which is nice. Some more pictures, some books. Got another stereo or radio, some more cassettes hanging there. Got some album covers, maybe some vinyl on the shelves with some more wine bottles and some other books there in the back corner. And then all the way in the back, you got kind of a guitar leaning up against the back there. Got a shelf. It's got chess set, little another record player. Got another little radio on the top shelf. Some more cassettes and records and stuff. You got that ladder kind of going up to the top shelf. Then over here, just got some pictures on the wall. Got another radio on the top of the shelf. Got a book. Another lamp. Doesn't have a light in it, but it's just another lamp there. Coffee mug. You got a drawer that opens and closes and some books on a shelf. And then you got little music sheets, you know, kind of rolled up onto a container and everything. So, so yeah, so there you go. I mean, actually it wasn't too bad. And then, of course, it comes with a dust cover that I'll put on here in a little bit. I mean, it wasn't too bad. The wires were a little challenging. Some of the pieces were a little challenging. My glue is, I don't know if it's, you know, I haven't had it for too long, but I've had it, you know, a little bit more than normal. I don't know if the glue's not setting well with the pieces, or maybe it's just this brand of model, booknook. But definitely had a lot of pieces kind of come undone off the shelves and everything that I've had to reglue. So I may look around and look for another type of glue and everything. And for the coffee mug, it's actually a hard plastic. And what I used was the E6000 glue, because it had come off a couple times. And it's just that sometimes the plastic on the wood doesn't, just a tacky glue doesn't work too well and everything. So, and then something I didn't do was the model actually came with a couple small helpers for you to pop out any of the small pieces and everything. And I would go ahead and just keep these for any future models that you do. And usually I always keep a lot of, or some of the accessories of the models just to use for other ones that I get, because not everyone will have stuff like this. So I'll just hang on to these, and I'd recommend just hanging on to them, because you never know when you may need them, you know, down the road and everything. So I had the wires for this light would kind of got in the way a little bit, so it's kind of rubbing against it. So it's definitely making it a little rough to put it in, but just kind of got to guide it down and push it all the way down, and then there you go. So got the dust cover on, keep it all nice and clean inside, and still looks pretty good. So definitely enjoyed this one. It was a little different. I mean, some books, but with all the music elements and everything, definitely enjoyed that, especially seeing all the old, you know, cassettes and everything that look kind of cool and everything. So, but definitely enjoyed the model. Enjoyed the model, you know, like I do all the other ones and everything. So I always try to, you know, do something a little different and everything. So, as always, please like, share, subscribe, leave comments, hit the notification bell, and I'll try to get some more out. I've been a little behind here lately, just things going on and everything. So, but I appreciate everybody watching. So with that, I'll see you next channel. But with that, I appreciate everybody watching. So see you next episode.